Welcome back and thank you very much indeed. This is TV3Newday. And what's on the front page is BNFT this morning reports that SNIT payments to invalid pensioners increased by 13.68%. CD records highest depreciation against dollar in 36 weeks. And despite COVID-19, cocoa production exceeded projected targets, according to the Cocoa Board CEO, Boahin Edu. What's on the front page of Business 24? They say MTN appoints Shaibu Haruna as Chief Sales Distribution Officer. Also, President promises high economic growth. Unilever's profit up by 85% in 2020, poised to remain a future-fit business. And Akufo-Addo satisfied with progress of Bichema Ajoafua Road. Well, that's an asphalted road. I thought that we're told we'll get concrete roads, but anyway, began with it. The Chronicle, Mahama threatens mayhem in 2024, do or die. I'm sure you heard that. JM is painting a rosy picture of his disastrous government, according to John Boyd, who is the NPP's General Secretary. Pandemic, not solely responsible for economic woes, Mahama fights back. We have targeted 5% growth despite ravages of COVID-19. A Daily Guide is our next paper. It says Mahama scales up attacks, NPP fires back. Don't frustrate investors. President Akufo-Addo says there after he had said in Germany that Ghana protects the foreign direct investors. The Finder newspaper, SIGA develops corporate governance code for state-owned enterprises, according to Asamoah Boateng, who is the boss at SIGA. President refunds 237,974 salary increment to coffers. Mahama presided over the worst economy in the Fourth Republic. John Boydu, what's the situation now? Somebody will ask. Address bottlenecks frustrating investors. President Nana Akufo-Addo charges GIPC and 109 district municipalities benefit from $1 million constituency initiative, according to its CEO. Daily Graphic, PNC disagreements deepen. There's a dogfight at the PNC at this point. Lavish funerals in Agogo banned. Well, I thought funerals, nightclubs, pubs all remain closed. And Spark Up Summit, we're working towards 5% growth rate, President assures. What's on the front page of the new crusading guide, Kweku Baku's own brainchild? Aquano family head warns Ishmael Amakwansa and others over encroachment, and IRCOPs will end pocket of refuse in towns, cities, and minister, according to the minister. Don't wilt under pressure. And any oil's discovery offshore. Ivory Coast proves energy transition in fiction. Insta PR says so. And also cash for appointment scandal. Rocks SMD Lands Commission. That's what's there. Ignore Mahama. Economy is in right direction. John Kuma is a deputy minister for finance. The Informer newspaper says NDC must stop Mahama for 2024. Former Mahama appointee. If you buy a copy, you can get it. Down memory lane, 10 member NDC Advisory Council behind Mill's economic success. Also, Guinea could blame ECOWAS, AU, Security Dawn, and International Relations expert Professor Enin says so. And that perhaps is our final paper for this morning. Most grateful that you could come along with us. And this is TV3Newday. We're grateful that you could join us this morning. Our guest this morning is a new face. Abudu Nicholas is the Bono Regional Communications Director of the PPP. Also, Dr. Bernard Okoboy. He is a former Deputy Health Minister. He's also a former Member of Parliament for the Lejokuku constituency. And I would always say this, whether you like it or not, he's the Health Minister that Ghana has never had. And also, Alassane Suhini is an Alaji, is also the Member of Parliament for Tamale North constituency. Recent days, people had some floods there. I'll ask him what's been happening in his backyard, whether he has gotten support or not. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Great. Doc, I haven't seen you in a while. Where were you hiding?
So I took some.
He's in the wilderness. He's just eating fruits and berries.
We've been taking it cool.
Yes,
and
I see.
Supporting from behind.
I've always said that I like the way you manage the COVID-19 pandemic communication at the early stages, when all this started early last year, how you explained to us community spread and all of that, vaccines and everything else. The numbers are shooting up again. From a medical perspective, what would you say to the people of Ghana?
Well, Johnny, let me say a very good morning to you and to my my brother, who is very good at mischief.
He has not said anything.
Yeah, I anticipate a lot of mischief this morning.
So you know who is mischievous.
But whatever will happen, I know that it will not be do or die this morning. It will be peaceful.
Right.
And then my brother from PPP,
right.
Greetings to him and to Papa Kwezindu.
Our last name, Papa Kwezindu, is still interested in the presidential seat.
Jerry, we thank God that as at the last time, the latest update we are doing about, as at 4th of September, that's the latest update. We are doing 6,135.
Right.
6,135 active cases. We nearly hit 7,000 in this wave. So at least 6,134 means that, I mean, it's, if you draw a graph, it's tipped. We are hoping that it keeps coming down. But all I will say is that the virus has proven globally that is here to stay for some time. Most viruses that emerge or are discovered normally fade out within usually maximum 24 months, 2 years, like H1N1, Middle East respiratory MERS was also a coronavirus. They come and they go.
Okay.
Viruses don't die, but they normally resurrect based on some conditions. But this one has sort of been around, and what scientists are fearing or thinking is that it might behave like the influenza virus. You know, in UK and certain countries in Europe, every winter they give these shots.
Right.
Why winter? Because that's the ideal condition for the virus to become active.
Thrive. Okay.
You know, so once you realize the virus is behaving like it's here to stay, you start to prepare your health infrastructure to be able to contain it. So at the end, it becomes like malaria or any other disease that's recorded monthly. So in Ghana, we know that, let's say, annually, we get, let's say, 5,000 cases of malaria in Ghana.
Okay.
So that if you hear that there were 5,000 cases, you don't jump and start making noise. But it is when you get, let's say, 20,000 instead of the 5, even for malaria, you have to start quickly knowing and looking for what went wrong. So I suspect that is what is happening. And that's why most countries now have changed from zero active case to now looking at factors that would determine that they are in crisis. So we all started with zero active case globally. Every country started with zero active case because we thought we could crash the virus and let it vanish. But now, if you go to Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, what they are doing is that they are looking at how many, what is the percentage of bed occupancy.
Okay.
So that if you have 1,000 beds for COVID patients, and you realize that 50% is occupied, then you trigger the yellow or red alarm. So that's what countries are trying to do now. And that's why UK is back to almost a normal life, despite the fact that they record cases in the thousands daily. I admit that here our vaccination rate has not been...
That's where I was coming to.
Yes.
So we're doing small Moderna, small AstraZeneca,
yes.
small, what's the other one? Johnson & Johnson.
Exactly.
The Sputnik, it didn't come.
Exactly.
Because of one or two things. When you go back to Parliament, I'm sure that you will raise the matter.
Johnny,
because the plenary has not decided on that matter yet.
When Sweeney is on your left, there are things you don't see.
Okay.
Otherwise,
that's why I'm looking at you. I'm not looking at him. I'm looking at you.
All right. Okay.
So I'm saying that the small Moderna, small AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson.
But
now, a layperson would ask, we are mixing the vaccines.
Yeah.
Is that not dangerous for us if we want to fight this entirely? Because we're aiming at 20 million by October. Now we say by the end of the year, so that we get our own herd immunity. Yeah. Tell us something from a medical perspective, and then I'll bring Sweeney.
Yeah, Johnny, a vaccine, like they will say, is like a provocateur.
Okay.
It provokes your immune system. That's all it does. So that you produce soldiers yourself. Soldiers to fight COVID.
Okay. Should
you get it? Soldiers to make sure that you don't fall severely ill. Now, whichever type of provocation you get, the good news is that there will be some form of response. So it's like having staff of TV3 using different vehicles. the most important is that they are being moved from one place to the other.
Okay.
So it doesn't really matter.
So there's no cause for worry.
Once the vaccine is approved as safe, when I say safe, it will not harm you.
Okay.
At least you get some benefits. All of them, I know that the benefits is not. Let me. How do I put it? People try to go like this one has this percentage that, but I've written about it before that whichever kind of vaccine you get, they all do you some good.
Okay.
No.
So far, we have not bought any vaccine, have we?
Oh, the J&J.
Everything we got was free.
The J&J.
Okay.
The 100th and we got about some 147,000 J&J. That was bought by GOG, Government of Ghana.
Okay.
The one that came recently.
Okay, the 1.2.
No, we got about another 247,000 Johnson & Johnson.
From Germany. Okay, no.
Yeah, that was from African Medicine Supply. That one
right.
too bought by government.
We bought it.
In fact, government has committed to about 12.5 million vaccines.
Okay.
That one, they use the African Medicine Supply platform. So if you're interested, you have to pay some, I think 15% of the amount. So far we've received close to 350,000 vaccines, single dose. I'm talking about J&J, that are being paid for by government of Ghana.
Okay, Sweeney, at the beginning of this COVID-19 fight, you said something that I've kept with me. Spread calm, not recklessness. You remember?
I do.
Okay.
Thank God you remember.
Yes, I like to remember things. You said it and you repeated it about 4 times.
Yeah.
So it stuck with me.
Yeah.
Has that view of yours changed in terms of how we're managing it, the fact that we have crossed a certain threshold that we said we were not going to cross?
Not really. I mean, good morning to you, Johnny. Good morning to my colleagues on the set, and good morning to our viewers out there, especially the very good people of the Tamale North constituency. I am sad to say that we have not succeeded in preventing the spread of recklessness, and it is the reason where our story is as it is. When you speak, you are quickly referred to how worse other countries are doing, but when you have the opportunity to do better, and you see those clear opportunities, and you see how not so well you are performing, it is foolhardy to beat your chest, at the rate that you are performing when you have the capacity or the opportunity to do better. Clearly, the recklessness has been all over. I mean, whether in the procurement of these vaccines, in the assurances of when the vaccines will arrive, in the assurances of how many will be vaccinated at a particular time, or in the procurements of PPEs, or in the, communication of even government, in terms of how to get the citizens' support for the observation of protocols. I mean, we saw it in our elections. We were all guilty of the recklessness that we engaged in. So it is still a call for us to, still a relevant call for us to spread calm, yes, because like Doc said, even though I'm surprised he didn't say all die when you asked him about it.
We'll come to do or die very soon.
After all, die. But I'm surprised he didn't say all die. But he went for
he asked me not to
advice.
Say anything about the Sputnik V procurement.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. But the point I'm making is that he has spoken about how far we have come, and it is good that we are where we are today. Okay. But I continue to say that we must be calm, but we must guard against recklessness. Okay. The kind of recklessness that led to us almost losing money to the Saudi prince through the procurement of Sputnik V. And maybe, Johnny, isn't it curious that a government that promised to investigate, sometimes using the ANAS principle, every hint of corruption in power for 4 years, has not on its own triggered any investigation on itself? I mean, whether Sputnik or cash for seats, it has been the minority in parliament making the calls and demanding that investigations be done into some of these things. The best you get is that cases are referred to the police ID. Even the, what do you call it, procurement authority investigations have to be taken to, Shraj by individuals. I mean, little wonder we are where we are on the Transparency International scorecard. I mean, when we used to score 46%, 47%, now for 4 years, our best performance has been 43%, which used to be our worst performance at the time that the shouts of corruption, was the loudest. It's such an irony.
Ms. Abudu, what is the PPP's view of how we have managed our COVID-19 situation?
Okay. Mr. Johnny, good morning. Good morning to my honorable men here. Good morning to all PPP members, especially those at the
As Papa Kwesindo.
Yes.
He's fine.
Yeah. Good morning.
Does he still want to be president?
Well, I think that is his personal decision.
What have you people been telling him?
Whatever you tell him is immaterial until he himself decides what he's
But he's the leader of your party. You should encourage him.
Well,
are you encouraging him?
We do.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Is he growing grey now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But the woman is Bridget.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you like the woman instead of the man?
No, I cannot say.
What do you like?
It's
oh boy, I don't answer questions here.
It will be decided by the party members as to who they want.
I hear you. Yeah. Anyway, so what's the PPP's view of how we have managed COVID quickly, and then we'll get into other matters.
Okay. Mr. Johnny, thank you. I think with COVID, at least we have chalked some amount of success in the management of COVID. But that is not enough. There are a lot of things that went on we're supposed not to have gone on. The point is, looking at how the vaccines were procured and some of the issues that surrounded the procurement of the vaccines and how our president responded to those issues, I think the president to some extent wasn't fair to the people of Ghana. Yeah, because I remember President Akufo-Addo, when he was seeking for power, political power, throughout to the 2016 elections, he was making a promise that he will fight corruption head on, that he will be using the analysis principle to fight corruption. But it is rather unfortunate that when he came, there are a lot of corrupt acts that happened under his watch.
Even if I think COVID?
No, I'm talking about, I will link COVID to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Yes. There are a lot of corrupt acts that happened under his watch, which he should have taken action, or he should have used the analysis or how he said he will fight corruption. He should have done that to make sure that corruption, if not, we know definitely we cannot, eradicate it completely, but we can reduce it. But it is unfortunate that corruption has been on the ascendancy this time. And to the extent that in COVID, that Ghanaian people are dying, some people are trying to take advantage of COVID to enrich themselves. I think
which people?
Oh, well, we all know what's around the issues that surround the procurement of the vaccines.
Monies have been refunded. Parliament is dealing with the issue.
Well, if you said they're dealing with the issues, I don't have any problem with that.
But here. They'll go back and go and decide.
but the point is, something went on wrong to the extent that the one who was in charge, the health minister himself, said he was not thinking well when he was, entering into those agreements. I think it is unfortunate. And one other thing why the cases have shot up is, I think people have lost hope in the leadership. Why do I say so? We've witnessed several cases where our political actors, our political leadership, engage in gathering and then neglected these COVID protocols.
You also had campaigns during that time.
Yes, that is why I say political actors.
Okay.
Everybody is at fault. Recently, a funeral was held, Sir John's funeral, and then we saw how these people, those who went there, it wasn't only MPP people who went there, it was a mixture of, or a blend of NDC and MPP. They went there, we saw how they neglected the COVID protocols. And the president himself was there. You know, he is leading the crusade. So some of us would have thought that he will lead, or he will lead by examples. But it's sometimes unfortunate that he doesn't do it that way.
Okay.
So because of that, a lot of people have lost hope. You know, there's a misconception that COVID is not rare. There's this particular misconception which is being carried along. That
By who?
There are certain people.
Where you come from in Bono, they don't believe that there's COVID.
Even in Accra here, people are saying they don't believe in COVID.
Really?
Yes.
After all we have said.
Yes, there are people there like that.
Hey.
So if people are having those misconceptions, and then you, the one who is propagating or who is telling us we should observe the COVID protocols, you are rather violating them. How do you expect the ordinary or the person who doesn't even believe COVID exists to observe them?
Thank you. Well, front page of the Republic Press, 2024 is do or die. Perplexed Mahama warns. Former President John Mahama has advertised the NDC's intention to decide the fate of the party in the 2024 elections at the polling stations, thereby warning Ghanaians to brace themselves for do or die. A 2024 poll. According to him, following the party's defeat in the 2020 elections, it has learned lessons and has marshaled resources to win on the ground rather than seeking redress at the Supreme Court. Sohini, why is your leader beating war drums?
Well, Johnny, as it is often said about Nkrumah, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, first president, sometimes it seems he lived before his time. I mean, when he marshaled resources to invest in the Akosombo Dam at the time, people didn't understand.
Right.
When he spoke of the relevance of the atomic energy, people didn't understand. Because he lived before his time.
Okay.
Sometimes I listen to former President Mahama. I, follow his deeds, and I'm tempted to think that he's living before his generation. Some of the things he says or does make sense, after some careful reflection. He's a thinker. He's a thinker. And if you don't appreciate that, you may misunderstand him.
He said boot for boot before. He's saying do or die now.
Yes. So
Will he say tie and die next?
So do or die is an English phrase.
Right.
It's an English phrase.
What did he mean at this time?
No, it's not about what he means. It's about what it means in English.
Okay.
I hope you get me.
But he said it.
It is
on the strength of something.
It is an English phrase.
I get it.
So the phrase do or die means a grim determination to persist even, no, this is the definition.
So read.
To persist even if death is the result. To persist. It is not to kill, it says to persist even if death is the result.
To put yourself in harm's way.
It is to persist even if death is the result. It's not to kill.
I'm saying to put yourself in harm's way.
Yeah, but I'm saying it is not to kill. You are not going to kill.
That one we understand.
You understand?
But I'm saying, but to put yourself in harm's way.
So that is the English meaning of do or die. It's an English phrase. And that is why he was careful to add that. I'm not saying all die be die, because he was mindful of the English phrase he was using. English phrase. So it's not about what he means. It's about what you and I have been taught in school, even if we were not taught. But at least we were taught that when you don't understand a phrase or a word, you can refer to your dictionary.
But he is communicating to people and inspiring a certain action.
Which I understand. But I'm saying that...
when you say that a certain dedication, even
so let
in the
me
face
share.
of death.
Yes. So let me share. If you have time, I want to
share with me.
I want to share with you events of three constituencies in the last election.
Okay.
Savelugu, Gushegu, and Techiman. In the Savelugu constituency, at the end of voting, an EC official who was not registered at a polling station, but was an officer at that polling station in Kadia, Ishmael Kwashi, from a known NPP family in Savelugu. but was an EC official, got up and decided to cast his votes at that station where his name was not on the register. He tore, the presidential ballot, voted Nana Akufo-Addo, and went and put it in the parliamentary box. At the time he was voting, he was putting it in the box, the NDC agent noticed and raised, alarm and confronted him. It degenerated. The security got involved. It took about 2 days for the matter to be resolved at the police headquarters. 2 days of protest.
Okay.
Now the NPP wanted that polling station results to be cancelled.
Why?
Yeah, because that was clearly an illegal act. In fact, Ishmael Kwashi was prosecuted later. So they wanted that results cancelled. But the NDC insisted that they must open and remove that ballot, that one ballot, that was going to spoil the whole issue because he was caught. So let's open and remove the ballot. Unfortunately, he put it in the parliamentary ballot and not the presidential. So if you open the parliamentary box, you could simply remove the presidential out.
But how are you going
count
to, how are they going to identify that particular ballot?
Because he put it in the parliamentary box.
Okay.
So if you opened any, vote,
okay, which is not presidential, but parliamentary,
you take it out.
Okay.
But the MPP insisted it must be cancelled. Why? Because if it had been cancelled, they would have won the seat. So some people think that his act was even deliberate. It took 2 days of protest and determination, persistence by the Savulugu NDC agents and the regional executives of the NDC. 2 days of protest from the, Kadiak polling station to the Savulugu police station to the NDC, to the police headquarters, the regional police headquarters, where the police headquarters together with the EC officials decided that the box must be opened and the ballot removed and then the votes counted.
Okay.
And the NDC won that seat by 99 votes.
Is that why John Mahama is saying do or die?
No, I'm talking about persistence.
Okay.
I'm talking about persistence.
Okay.
They persisted for 2 days.
Right.
And they got that seat, that Savulugu seat. Let's go to Zabzugu.
Okay. What happened there?
In Zabzugu, there was overvoting, which was not detected at the polling station, but was detected at the coalition center. The NDC agents, when they detected the coalition, the overvoting during coalition, mounted a protest. The coalition came to a halt. They locked up, together with the EC officials and security because of the protest, locked up the ballot boxes. In fact, there was an attempt to move the ballot boxes. The people refused. They locked up the ballot boxes. But guess what happened? In the dark of the night, the EC officials, together with the district chief executive and the parliamentary candidate, who was a deputy regional minister, the coalition sheets were smuggled to Tamale. And you saw the videos at an unidentified location where the coalition was done by the district chief executive together with some others, and the parliamentary candidate of the MPP declared. Lack of persistence. They persisted first, the NDC agents persisted first to protect the ballot boxes. And if you go to Zabzugu today, the ballot boxes for that parliamentary result is still locked with padlocks of both NDC, NPP, and the security agencies.
But
the security agencies...
But the Electoral Commission
Johnny,
gives you an opportunity to file your complaint so that they can process it.
Yeah.
Why did they not choose that option?
How do you... That's why I'm saying that they filed a complaint. So the coalition came to an end.
Okay.
In their estimation, they went to sleep.
So
only for some people
then
to smuggle...
the candidate should not have been declared. A winner should not have been declared.
Exactly. But you see, it was declared. That's why President Mahama says 2020 has taught us lessons. That's why I'm giving you 2 scenarios.
Okay.
Where the people of Savulugu persisted to the point of death and secured their seat. The people of Zabzugu did same. But when they blinked an eye, the thing was declared against them.
Are you not worried? Are you not worried that people may take his words out of context and misbehave on election day in 2024?
Johnny, Techiman is a well-known case. We all know what happened in Techiman. How, again, people persisted and insisted that the right things be done. In the course of it, some of them got shot and killed. I mean, Johnny, are we saying that the framers of the 1992 Constitution that says we should defend the Constitution with our life were calling for violence? They want us to do that. They want us to persist till the right thing is done, because the Constitution is defending the Constitution is the right thing.
But you can't put yourself in harm's way defending.
No, so I'm saying that if you think that the framers of our Constitution who enjoin us to defend the Constitution to the point of death are warmongers, then President Mahama is a warmonger.
Okay.
Because President Mahama is not saying go kill somebody. He's saying persist till the right thing is done. And that's why I define do or die for you.
But the
from
stakes
the
will be higher in 2024. If he's asking for people to persist, do or die.
Why? Do some people have an intention not to do the right things? And that is
know.
why? And that is why they are not comfortable.
That
there's a call for others to persist till point of death.
That's why I'm asking you what His Excellency Mahama meant.
That's why I've given. He put it in context. You see, when you analyze things out of context, you get it wrong. Because I'm not talking about you. I've heard some people, for example, compared to All Die Be Die. You know, context matters.
Okay.
Context is very important.
Okay, I hear you.
In All Die Be Die, we had a by-election. And it's important people take note of it. Okay. We had a by-election.
Let me go to
the NPP, you know, beat up people and boasted about it. As Oka boys, they boasted about it. In fact, Nana Akufo-Addo said, "Etiwa kra yechro mo bibi kakra." As for this election, All Die Be Die. Yechro mo bibi kakra, and the bibi kakra was the beating of the people
but your
they
leader
call
also
Azoka
said you
boys.
have a revolutionary past, and that
No. You see, I'm comparing two things. Don't introduce a third one.
I'm
talking about those who. I'm talking about context analysis.
Okay.
Context analysis.
Right.
So he was saying that Yechro mo bibi kakra. So this one, All Die Be Die.
Okay.
Now that is different. The context there is different. From this one, we have learned lessons from 2020, where I have given you examples in Savulugu. I've given you examples in Zabzugu. You know of the examples in Techiman. And he's saying that because of this, we are going to win this election at the polling station, just as we won Savulugu at the polling station, because people persisted to the point of death.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Bernard Okoboy, step in for me. You have heard Sweeney explained what the NDC leader said, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has said. What do you say? Is your party shaken by this insistence to persevere till the very end?
Politicians must learn to learn.
Okay.
We must learn from the experience of our other colleagues. When President Akufo-Addo said All Die Be Die, I was just trying to read an article that was published on Ghana Web. And he had an interview with Accra-based Peace FM. Now, this was reported on Ghana Web 2nd December 2016. Before that, I think that was his last interview before the election. Now, see the headline, All Die Be Die mantra, I'm ready to accept blame. But the opening, paragraph says that Nana...
We call it the lead.
Yes, Nana Akufo-Addo, the lead. The 2016 presidential candidate of the opposition New Patriotic Party has said he is prepared to accept blame for the infamous All Die Be Die mantra, which he used in the run-up. And this is what he said. He said the All Die Be Die comments made the headlines in 2012 when the New Patriotic Party flag bearer Nana Akufo-Addo admonished party members to be vigilant and ready to defend the ballot box. Now, I know that the comments were twisted. That's quoting Nana. It proved to be an unfortunate statement for me. I'm prepared to accept all that. But that is the origin. It was the exact opposite of tribal statement. Johnny, basically, President Akufo-Addo And I'm happy he said there was a context.
Okay.
You had hoodlums, vigilantes who had stormed Etiwa to try and use force to take, because we were having the seat, it was an MPP seat, to try and use incumbency to take the seat from us. And there was resistance from the people. They stood their grounds. And the president said, people have assumed that we are cowards. When we see people who are violent, we run away. But this time, it should be a cry, and that all died with that. What did the NDC say?
What did they say?
This man is a violent man. This man is saying that people should kill, people should sacrifice their lives for him. Will his children go to the police station? All kinds of statements. Even when the president said, I didn't mean people should go and kill, but to stand for their rights. Today, see what Sweeney is telling us. Now he's giving us the English definition of do or die, that it is persistence. And now, so why do you...
You should contextualize it.
Okay, I'm coming. No problem.
And not put in the
I'm coming.
Allow him.
Johnny,
No, he says I'm giving them. Isn't my definition?
Johnny,
I didn't write the dictionary.
You will come in again.
Johnny,
Go ahead.
In fact,
He said you should contextualize it.
No, I'm happy he's talking about a dictionary. So, I mean, we all have...
You want to do the second definition?
Yes. But, you know, Johnny, basically, all the dictionaries, if you check the dictionaries, they just tell you that it's someone looking for a particular outcome, no matter what is involved. And the word desperate shows up all the time, looking for one particular outcome, ready to do everything to get it. Now, if you watch the video by President John Dramani Mahama, you realize that, look, he prepared the mind of the listeners before coming to the order.
How did he do that?
He said that number one. Oh, please.
No, he said all that. President Mao didn't say all that.
Allow him, please.
I was quite
allow him.
No, but President Mao didn't say all that.
He said, I'm not saying all die be die,
yes,
but I'm saying do or die. But let's allow him. Let's be fair to
look at the statement President Mahama made. Number one, that this election, they didn't lose. They were robbed. Now, if you are telling your supporters that they didn't lose this election, that they were robbed, and look at the second statement made, that when you look at the ballot box, can you imagine with your eyes, the papers in it were actually more than what the machine has captured. A former president of the republic making such false claims. And what does this do? So the supporter of the NDC, who is what was the word? Who is a staunch or who is ready to do everything, will go like, wow. So they put more ballots than the machine captured. This is what the former president is saying.
Is that your inference?
Oh, watch the video, play the video. He said so. In fact, he pointed as if the box is in front of him. That when you look at the box, the ballot papers in the box is more than what the machine has captured. Wow. A former president said, you know what it means?
No.
No, what it means, and then before he lands at, the results should be determined at the polling station. This time it is do or die. You know what they are telling the person there?
What are they telling them?
If in your already he's prepared your mind with two things that you want, but they took it from you. So assuming if it so happens that they declare a result and at the polling station Lejokuku and NDC loses that polling station, with the comments from JM, an NDC member has been told that the papers you see is more than what is on the machine.
But Sweeney suggests that the framers of the 1992 Constitution are asking you to protect.
No, but Johnny, forget our protection.
And then he says that persisting is not to go and do violence.
I don't have a problem. No, I've given you, he prepared the mind before JM said do or die.
The premise.
I've made two statements that JM said. He said, number one, they didn't lose this election. They were robbed. Number two, ballot papers in the box were more than what the machine has captured. Now, with these two, what it means that even please.
Allow him.
I am saying it on authority. I've watched the video.
I'll give you a rebuttal.
Exactly. Now, what JM is doing is that even if you have a genuine process that results in the loss at any police station, he has prepared the mind of his people that you have to fight it, and your fight must result in what you want at the police station. Johnny, please, 2012, we went to Supreme Court, sat before judges for our 8 months. That was the route we took. In other countries that experienced violence and war.
The NDC also went to court recently.
I know, but now he's saying that the courtroom is not a place they will go. It must be finished and determined at the polling station. You know what that means? If every place, assuming that Jokuko have a problem, and I say I'm not going to the court, as I push and persist, if the other side pushes and persists, What is pushing and persist? Is it through verbal exchanges? We've seen people physically holding each other. Now it will come to the use of gadgets and things, because you want at the end of the day to get the result you want. Look, the basics of our election make sure that it is difficult for anybody to cheat you. When I say basic, what do I mean? Johnny,
Tell me.
I have been a candidate before. It's a candidate. Every polling station, it is the votes that come from the polling station that we add to form the overall vote count in the constituency.
But if you lose that,
no, I'm coming.
If you lose that,
I'm coming. You know, most of the violence we experienced this election, John, you know where the violence was?
No.
It was not at the polling station. Where was it? This election, where was it? Collection center.
That's right.
If anybody, you know my place, I considered. If anybody had tried to cheat me at a polling station, I have all the copies. That's why the elections are done in a way that you, the candidate, your agent has what? Copies. I don't need to push anybody or fight a soldier at the collation center. If you change the figures and it results in a win for the NDC, I'll just go and sleep. The next morning, I file my papers at the court. It's because they were making false claims. That's why in the Supreme Court of Ghana, they didn't show one pink sheet. The NDC were not ready to collect the figures for even 5 polling stations to say that based on this count, we've won the election.
They asked the Electoral Commission to come into
Can you imagine?
So that the Electoral Commission, who is the referee, would then now come and say
Johnny,
what happened.
Johnny, see, it's very simple. If I'd taken Lejokuku's results to court, by the time I get there, all the 342 police stations, I have all the pink sheets. I would have done the collation in my house. I tell the judge, look at the figures I've won. It is then that the commission will bring their copy to make sure that they are able to either contest me or admit that something changed at the collation center. So really, what has happened is very dangerous. President Mahama, civil society, the clergy, they must come hard on him and tell him, look, take us out of this part. I was in Sierra Leone. You'll be amazed. I tell people, Sierra Leone has the face of what it looks like. You see buildings that are 300 years. You see buildings that, are hanging. You see roads that are unmotorable. It's so sad. And when you check, it's all due to war. President Mahama, people don't know this. Johnny, President John Dramani Mahama, he's paid monthly the salary of the sitting President Kufuor.
He's Article 71 holder.
Yeah, I'm saying this so that people know what is happening.
But it is deserved.
No, you wait, I'm coming. You see, sometimes based on your condition, you forget yourself.
Oh, really?
Yes. He's taking the salary of the city president till he will leave this earth. President Mahama, his drivers are paid by the state. His security is paid by the state.
When Nana retires, he will enjoy the same benefits.
Okay, do you know why the state is able to afford this?
Tell me.
It's because we have a stable democracy. If there is mayhem and chaos, and there is no, order in the system.
Are you suggesting that he's calling for mayhem and chaos?
Oh, but if a former president tells you that, determine the outcome, in fact, already he has told you that you are not supposed to lose the election. No matter what the results you see at a police station or collation center, change it.
He's asking the people to be vigilant.
No, but are you choosing words for him?
No, I'm asking you questions.
Words
Forget
like,
about Suhini and H.E. John.
Would we be using the dictionary if the President Mahama said that we should be vigilant, we should persist? All these are correct words. If I tell you, persist, be vigilant, be on your toes, who will come in? Now, why do you use the word die? Do you know that there are people who, after listening to President Mahama, will tell themselves that, look, if I have to lose my life in 2024, I'm ready to lose my life.
I hear you.
And finally, Johnny, the hypocrisy of the NDC is so profound. Why do I say so? This is an electoral process that made you take close to 60-something seats. No, this is amazing. Nobody talks about that. This is a process that took 66.
But you both are in court fighting over seats.
No, I'm coming. See, you took this process, supervised by the Electoral Commission, Jim Mensah and his team, They allowed you to take 60 seats.
They didn't allow them. The people of Ghana voted for them.
I'm happy. So how come that one, you are pleased with it? But when it comes to the presidential, you have a problem. The same process that gave you 137. And guess what? This same process has given you, in quote, an NDC Speaker of Parliament. Never happened in our history. Wow. And despite all this, because you didn't get to be president in 2020, now people must go to elections and be ready to do it or die.
But time is finished.
Come on, the church must wake up.
Your time is finished.
And all the imams must wake up.
Your time is finished.
They must, no, it's serious. They got to talk to him, Johnny. Big flames start small.
Okay.
Big flames.
Suhini is laughing at
I
you.
said big flames start small.
Suhini is laughing at you.
The reason why, you see Afghanistan.
Suhini is laughing at you.
People jumped out of their cars when they told the Taliban are taking over. They were running towards the border. None of us is safe if any violence starts. So please.
Suhini is laughing at you.
Johnny, this is serious business.
I hear you. Ms. Abudu, step in for me. You have heard the NDC and the MPP. What does the PPP say about what H.E. John Dramani Mahama said?
Thank you, Mr. Johnny. I think it's unfortunate we've heard such statement from the former president.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, why I say that is, I remember somewhere, I think 2012, when Mr. Akufo-Addo, the now president of Ghana, when he made a comment that all die be die. NDC, including well-meaning Ghanaians, condemned that particular statement, which was made by the now president, Mr. Akufo-Addo. We all condemn it. And Mr. Former president,
that's an honorary doctorate now.
Former president also condemned it. And you, the one who condemned it some time back, you are making a statement which is almost similar to the statement you condemned some time past. I think it sparks of hypocrisy. Why do I say that? Because look at this. That statement he made has a potential of inciting people.
Okay.
You see, Mr. Suhini was saying that he was giving some, what's the name, defending it and other things. But the point
defining
is,
it
defending.
Yeah,
but that was a defensive mechanism. Yes, that was a.
Allow Mr. Abudu. Thank you. Don't support him. It's not in your party.
That was a.
He wants to take your place.
That was a defensive mechanism. But the point is, how many of us will understand what Mr. Suhini is saying? Let's go to let's go to the grounds. How many of us will see it or will understand how he is explaining it?
But if you understand it, you are a communication officer. You can explain it.
Well, I can do my part. But how many of us will hear me when I'm explaining?
But that speaks to then your control over your people.
You see,
as a communication officer.
Everybody, you see, it's not one person's affair. It is a national. Yes, you get the point.
I hear you.
So those who don't understand or who might interpret it to suit themselves, what do you think? How do you think they will act? Do you understand what I'm saying? How do you think they will act? They might interpret it to mean that at the polling station, they should make sure that, like, whether however it is, they should. You get the point?
Until they die.
Yes. Until they die.
They should not leave the place.
Do you get the point?
Somebody will say that if the NDC had not done do or die in Parliament, Carlos Ayinkra would have taken the ballot papers.
But before Carlos took it, they had gone to break the
yes,
box.
because they were doing do. If they had not done do or die,
they started the do or die.
Night.
Lord,
I'm coming. If they had not done, somebody says, if they have not done do or die on that night, Carlos Ayinkra would have taken the ballot.
Before Carlos,
you see,
before Carlos, there were two. I don't want to mention their names.
They are the elite people in the society.
So Gina Paul and all those people who did the do or die ensure that Speaker Bagbin is Speaker today.
That is true.
So if they are not done do or die,
but they are the elite people in the society.
But I'm saying that if they are not done do or die,
let me come.
You have not answered my question.
Yes, let me answer it.
Answer my question.
The point is,
I'm saying that
I am coming to.
You have heard my question.
Yes, okay. I've heard you.
Answer my question.
They are the elite people in the society. So they might use some, like the way he's saying, persistence. Maybe they persisted and then achieve it. I'm coming. Just a second. I'm coming.
Reflecting or characterized by an irrevocable decision to succeed at all costs. Desperate for all out.
That will suit his agenda. He has been looking
So the point I'm trying to...
Since when did the PPP and the MPP have an alliance?
Looking for a definition since that will suit his agenda.
The point I'm trying to make it. There are people on the ground who will act in a different manner, who who will not fear to die because of these elections? Who will pull a trigger at the least provocation? There are a lot of people like that. You get the point? So the point, like, our leaders should not be making such comment which has a potential of inciting violence.
I hear you.
After all, what do we get from them as leaders? When President Akufo-Addo was seeking for political power, look at the promises he made. How many of them has he been able to achieve?
Nothing.
Few. Look at the free education policy that they are talking of. Well, it is good they implemented it. But what success have we chalked? Mr. Johnny, it will interest you to know that this time, comparing now and then, it is a bad story to write about.
I hear you.
Mr. Johnny, let me land.
Yeah, you're landing on this one.
Okay, let me land.
Thank you, boss.
Mr. Johnny, we can have elections without dying. It is a matter of you training your polling agents. It is a matter of having a lawyer, well-educated and well-trained polling agents who will be able to do your business for you. One other thing is, I think our political system, our electoral system is also a factor. Why do I say this? Can't we go the electronic way? Is there no means of doing that?
You people sit at IPAC. What do you tell them?
Well, you see, this EC has taken a particular position that when you talk, they don't listen. They do what they deem fit.
Now you're speaking for the NDC. I thought you were speaking for the NDC.
No, I'm not speaking. I'm not speaking for any party.
It's a coincidence of thoughts.
Please, I beg,
Call it coincidence of
I
thoughts.
beg you, allow him.
Yes.
You said the EC doesn't listen.
Yes, that one is a fact. They don't listen.
Oh.
Now let me make my point.
Go
I
ahead.
said it.
Now you're going the
What I'm trying to say is this: like, we should have continuous registration.
Right.
You see, when a person turns 18, there should be a system in place that you register.
But that was granted. Nimakun and Abu Ramadan, when they went for that challenge in the Supreme Court, the NHIS registrants.
Yeah.
You remember that case,
Yeah.
right?
But
It was
is
granted.
it implemented?
It was mentioned that Charlotte Osei had to do it. So Jimensa has to do that.
Well, is it implemented? It's not implemented. You get the point? So these are some of the reasons, or these are some of the things that are creating the grounds or a fertile grounds for people to make such comment, because they have a mistrust or they don't trust the electoral process. They have this kind of perception that the EC has a potential of stealing or favoring a particular party.
JM said Ghana was known for a stable democracy.
Thank you.
The EC is the best in
Thank you.
Africa.
Thank you.
and all that.
You see, that is a double
That's
standard.
hypocrisy, correct?
Yes, you see.
So you
One
need
is
to
favors them.
Please repeat the double standard.
It's okay. I'm grateful. Let's Sweeney come in. Mr. Abuli, thank you. We're wrapping up now. Sweeney.
Personally, I have stated that so many people in the public space, unfortunately in this country, admit to the wrong in a conduct or speech only when it is repeated by the NDC. I'll repeat that. Personally, I've said that in this country, so many people in the public space only tend to admit to what is wrong in speech or in conduct only when it is repeated by the NDC. I have said that. I have said that personally somewhere so many times. Now, my brother
said again before.
Yes, you see, I have told you about the case of Savlugu. Don't forget that, and how persistence kept that seat. I have told you about the persistence in Zabzugu, and when they blinked, they lost that seat, and it is being challenged in court. The Techiman issue is a clear story, and President Mahama said, which my brother here does not refer to, but refers to something else that I don't find in the speech, that there were not more ballots in the box than... I didn't hear it in the speech. But what President Mahama concluded with was that we don't want to cheat the MPP. He said it. We don't want to cheat them. But we will not also allow them to cheat us at the polling station. Just like the Savlugu people did not allow themselves to be cheated. And when he talks about President Mahama's benefits, Johnny, yes. And that is why we must understand that left to President Mahama's comfort, he wouldn't be spending sleepless nights on the road. It is because of his love for this country and how badly it has been managed by these people, especially when he twirled so much to do so much for this country.
Is he not starting the campaign too early?
No, he's thanking the people. This is not campaign. Look, people did not even give him a dog chance in the last election. But this was the best performance of a party in opposition confronting a sitting government, going for a second term election.
Oko says you won 137 seats.
He needs to thank
plus
the people.
one. That
Yes.
one, you were happy with it. But
he
then,
needs to
because
thank
you
the
didn't get to become president,
No, because it was
you are
stolen.
downing the process.
And Johnny, I have said again, after reviewing the CDD report, that it is intriguing to me that about 62% of the people in Ghana think that Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia's government is corrupt. They also think that they cannot manage the economy. And in that same report, they say that about 49% do not think the best way is to speak out. But about 67% think the best way is to vote the party out. And this was a research done 3 months after an election, where 67% think that the best way to punish a government that is corrupt and a government that cannot manage the economy is to vote it out.
Peter McMillan disagrees.
I have wondered how come after an election such a result appears,
Peter
and that
McMillan
goes to
disagrees.
confirm perhaps our suspicion that election was stolen.
Peter McMillan
But we are
disagrees.
law-abiding people, and so we have accepted the Supreme Court ruling, like President Mahama said. President Akufo-Addo is our president. We are, however, saying that we have learned useful lessons. And Johnny, let me conclude.
Okay.
Let me conclude with the national anthem. And make our nation great and strong, bold to defend forever the cause of freedom and of right. Fill our hearts with true humility, make us cherish fearless honesty, and help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and might. With all our will.
Was it not the same song you were singing on the night that you elected a speaker?
Fantastic, and that's what got us a speaker.
hold on.
With all our will, persistence. And we are all enjoined as Democrats and people believing in democracy to defend our constitution. In fact, they say
when you say-
that it is okay for the blood of patriots to be used to water the plant of freedom. The blood of patriots every now and then, it's okay for it to be used to water the plants of freedom.
Will not
Please,
get
please.
dropped in the soil.
Nothing was ever gotten
Please.
which is good for
Please,
from
you-
Without bloodshed.
no,
That's what they're telling
from
us to do.
despots.
Without bloodshed.
Nothing is ever gotten from despot on a silver platter.
Me, I want to go and donate
Johnny,
my blood at the
dictators from a
hospital.
Johnny,
I don't want it to spill.
Johnny.
I'll come to you, Mr. Abudu.
Mr. Johnny.
I want to go and donate blood. I don't want it to spill.
Yeah, so that I can save lives.
Yes.
Yes.
That is
true.
It's a good thing.
Thank you very much.
But I'm saying that anybody who attempts to overthrow this constitution, to do what is not right,
You
as a
resist
patriot
them
and as a citizen,
with
if
oppressors'
it
rule.
requires my life, like we demonstrated on the floor of Parliament when the army came and we marched them out, we will do it in defense of this 1992 constitution.
Read the second
and
stanza
the right
of
thing
the
to be done.
anthem. Hail to thy name, O Ghana.
Yeah, it's also a beautiful one.
Mr. Abudu,
Mr. Johnny.
step in for your closing thoughts.
Oh, okay.
Are you also willing to die for Ghana?
Well, I'm willing to die for Ghana, but not to die for a political party.
Hey, what you are saying is serious. Oh. So the PPP people who voted for you to be communications officer,
Yeah.
what are you telling them?
No, you mean, you're not
Oko, I have not called you, please. I beg you.
What I'm saying is, I will die for Ghana. When we say we die for Ghana, it doesn't mean that physically death. It's about your commitment to, something like fighting corruption.
You are afraid. You are
Yeah.
afraid. You are afraid.
You see, what Mr. or former president said, we cannot sweep it entirely under the carpet. Yeah, there was some portion which was relevant and which was true. When he said some military people were seen shooting anyhow, I think that is a true statement. Because I remember we saw some military officers wearing earrings. And I don't think our military permit that. Do you get that? So, and I believe those people, those guys were there they were there on a mission. And I believe they were sent by a certain group of people, specifically maybe in power, to go and do their bidding there. And I don't think any well-meaning military person, any decent military person, will shoot into a crowd just like that.
Okay.
Mr. Johnny, on the day after the election, that was the 8th, I was at the Coalition Center at Wenchi. At a point in time, some supporters were throwing in stones because they thought the EC was delaying in announcing their winner. There were military officers there. None of them shot a gun. None of them shot a gun. It means that they are the well-trained military guys that we have in the system.
Okay.
But those people at the Techmai South, I know or I believe they were people from the MPP's camp.
Hey.
Yes.
I'm making a very serious statement
I believe
that I cannot independently verify now.
So why are military people, why were they wearing earrings? What was their mission there? Is that allowing the military setup to wear earrings? No.
Thank you.
Johnny,
But they were there.
Ogo boy.
Johnny,
Yes, boss.
a leader must be careful about his or her words.
Say that to Nana Akufo-Addo.
And when President Akufo-Addo said all that some time ago, we quoted the Constitution, we quoted our anthem. They told us that it amounted to inflammatory speech. It is very important for John Dramani Mahama to know that when the state becomes ungovernable, he cannot enjoy all the benefits he's getting now. His statements were inflammatory, they were reckless. These are statements that can turn a country upside down. And I expect the clergy, I expect all who are reasonable and mean well for Ghana to call him and ask him to do the right thing. 2024, it is the will of the Ghanaian people that would stand and not the personal wishes of a politician. I want to say here, Sweeney says that how come 60-something% said we are corrupt, yet we won? Only they gave reasons for why they voted. When you look at the CD report, the party's performance, behavior of its MPs. Then there was the part of NDC's alternative, whether NDC was the reason why they voted. Guess what? 3%.
Okay.
Only 3% of the respondents say that they see NDC as an alternative. So if he says he wonders how come 60% say we are corrupt, but we
Thank
win,
you.
I am telling him they are not an alternative. JM is not an alternative.
You have peddled two falsehoods on this.
Thank you
You
very much.
peddled 1,000 then.
Alasan Suhini is Member of Parliament for the Tamale North constituency, and I'm getting a lot of messages from his constituency asking, we'll play it later. I don't have it, so we don't have the permission of the media house to use their video. But thank you, Alasan Suhini. Also, Abudu Nicholas is a Bono Regional Communication Officer of the PPP, grateful. And also Dr. Bernard Okoboy is a former Member of Parliament for Lejikuku, is also a former Health Minister. Boss, you pay money for collecting the contact.